Okay, good morning everyone from myself as well. Many thanks to Claudia for the kind introduction, and many thanks to her team for assisting us in putting together this event, all the people down there. So it's a great joy to have you all here, especially the colleagues from the PAINLESS project, because due to the pandemic and all those problems, it's been a while since we last met. I think it was in Cyprus that we all met together. That was 3 years ago. So very glad that we managed to make it, even though it's towards the end of the project. But maybe that's also good because we have we're in a much more mature stage of the results. So if we can start with the presentation, can we have it on the screen, please? Okay, great, thank you. So, first of all, I want to say a few things for those who may not be very familiar with this European Marie Sklodowska-Curie actions, that these are European-funded research projects that are student-centric, which means that everything is about those 15 young faces that you see here. These are the so-called early-stage researchers, and the goal of this program is to equip those students with all the necessary skills so that they can make an impact in their career after they graduate. So all of them are registered at doctoral schools in order to get their PhD. They are supervised by our excellent colleagues from all the partner institutions, academic institutions. And we also try, it's very important to give them, besides the technical skills, also a number of soft skills, because these become more and more important, as you know, in the marketplace. And it's often the case that PhD students are so much absorbed by their own research. It's not an easy thing to do a PhD, especially in a technological domain. And this doesn't let them develop the other skills. So we hope we've done a pretty good job already into the project in giving them those skills. And part of this effort is that we run regularly training schools, so summer schools and winter schools. So this is the last summer school of the project. And again, we put together a program that is dual in the sense I mentioned before, meaning that the first part today is the technical program. So we have a focus on next generation networks. And then tomorrow's day will be devoted to entrepreneurship as a concept that is very, very important as a career option for our students. Okay, so again, welcome to all. What I'll do in the next 15 minutes or so is I'll try to give you some background of how we got where we are now in this institution and what we're trying to do in order to embrace more and more research and technological innovation. So as Claudia said, our VP of Public Affairs, there has been a strategic plan of the college. It's called the ACG 150, with a view to the 150th anniversary of the college, which is in 2025. And the idea is to make a bigger impact into Greek society and economy. And this is very much, of course, inspired by the recent crisis that the Greek society has been going through, but also the fact that our institution has been doing well during this crisis, has been actually growing during the crisis, and being a non-profit institution wants to give back, wants to help more society and the economy. So this program is broken, the implementation of the program is through a number of units that have been put together in areas that we think we can help. But these are also areas where it's well known that the Greek economy can grow. So there was a McKinsey report some decade ago or so that had pointed out which are the areas of economic growth that have high potential in Greece. And of course, it's no surprise, tourism and shipping are two important areas. So we have generated devoted centers of excellence in this area. Sustainability is a horizontal theme these days, and it's something where the college already had a big effort and an important footprint. So we made a center of excellence in that area as well. And then, as Claudia mentioned, there is a unit called Research Technology and Innovation Network. This is a horizontal unit across all thematic areas and all units, other units of the college, the academic ones. And That's the one I was called to help put forth and lead. And part of this network, of course, is getting our own faculty to be more engaged into research activities, to bring in funding, etc. And we also have an Institute of Public Health, because that's another area where we have been very, very active. And there was a big campaign, an anti-tobacco campaign that we've been leading. And more recently, and it's not shown here on the card, there's an Institute of Global Affairs that also is being added. So you can see that this is consistent on one side with our liberal education background, but also looking into the future in developing research and technology-based innovation. Now, I will say a few things about our unit, what as we call it, the RTIN. The idea is quite simple. We want to help our own people grow more, nurture their research activity, and we want to help them find ways towards the market, towards technology-based innovation, which means filing intellectual property, creating startups, etc. So both for our faculty and for our students, we do have a good track record of faculty members, both at DIRI and at Alba, that have been setting up startup companies, and some of them have been already quite successful. We do have a very big added value, probably compared to public schools in terms of our connection to the market, because we have a group of about 70,000, 65,000 alumni who are very well placed in the market, and so we have strong links with them. But we want to do more. We want to not only serve as a model for how to do this, but to do this ourselves as well. And of course, we want to engage very much with the local community. That's very, very important for us, including both the public sector and the private sector. Now, our model, our research innovation model, is quite standard, I would say. I mean, you have three pillars. The one on the left is the core research that we develop on in-house research, as I call it. Then, in some cases, this may lead to IP generation, and this is something that we are doing. We're setting up as we speak. And then the next stage is technology transfer, where you start elevating the technology readiness level and trying to participate in schemes that take those findings towards the market. It could be through ventures, it could be by licensing out technology, it could be by joining forces with some existing company. Now, we also have an advisory board that has been instrumental in helping us create some of those links and to keep nurturing them. And as you can see, this is a mix of well-established academics and people from the VC community, the intellectual property community, the investment community. So you can see people here from the European Investment Bank, from the European Patent Office, from the industry such as Innoetics and Samsung Hellas, the Innovation Fund in Denmark. But you can also see people who are very well established, such as Professor Giannakis and Professor Yonina Elder, academics who advise us on the different goals that we have in the unit. Another thing we did is we try to represent all the thematic areas that have research potential in the college through specific people who represent different research areas. And so you can see this is, thank you very much, you can see this is a first list of 25 colleagues. Okay, they're all faculty members in DIRI and Alba, who represent different thematic areas, and this of course reflect the thematic span of our programs. So you can see here that the topics range from machine learning and AI to bioinformatics to experimental arts, digital business and social media, food and agribusiness, environmental science, biomedical science, organizational psychology, etc. So it's a quite wide span. All those people have a research footprint and interest, and the idea is that we want them to both be helped to develop a research portfolio, but also to act as gateways with the market, because each of them is connected to their own community and network in terms of local and other companies. Now, one of those teams is the one that I lead, and I'm showing this as an example of how we envision all those 25, let's say, research areas to operate. So you have a faculty member who is trying to attract all this activity, and we want to do that by bringing in First of all, it's the human resource aspect. So to bring in colleagues that are already in the college and work in similar topics, to bring in students, we have a work study program where we can have some of our students work for different teams, and now we have the opportunity to have them work into research labs. And then, of course, via different grants, if we manage to attract them, to also hire research personnel, such as the PhD students we have here under PAINLESS, Mohammed and Nitin, or Nikos that we have through another program that I'll mention later on. So this is a collection of people. You see the faculty on top. Here you see grant-supported researchers, and then here you see undergrad students who are being engaged. So this is how we build, let's say, the human aspect, and then of course the rest of the tools are grants and corporate programs. These are the premises of this lab. So we hope to expand and have many of those labs in the different areas that I mentioned to you. We are also taking a stronger position towards STEM, and so we established a couple of STEM labs only a couple of months ago with funding from the USAID organization, and these are already being used in the classroom, and they have a wide span, so one can do let's say bioinformatics, or one can do electronics and several other things in the same classroom. And at the same time, we also renovated all our science labs. So we have 3 brand new science labs in biology, chemistry, and physics. So now a few examples from projects that we run. PAINLESS, we don't need to say much. I mean, this is the theme of this workshop, but just for those who don't know it, the general idea is that we want to have portable access points, such as portable Wi-Fi routers, for example. And the important thing is that we want those portable wireless access to be not only efficient from a communication point of view, but also efficient from an energy viewpoint. So to be as energy autonomous as possible, leading towards network neutrality eventually. And you will see towards the end, in the lunch break, a demo of that. Another project that we run is from the Chistera program. It's called Fireman, and this is about predictive maintenance in industrial environments. So it's an IoT project that has a lot of machine learning in order to be able to predict when there will be a need to repair some part in an industrial floor. And then I also want to highlight that we all try to establish projects and grants with the industry as well. So both international and local industry. An example here is with Nokia Bell Labs in the US, where we have completed a 6-month a project where we do millimeter wave channel measurements of very narrow beam widths, and this is for fixed wireless applications. At 60 gigahertz. So this was completed, and actually it went well. There's a paper in Spock that has been accepted to report the results, and then a second phase of the program is beginning as we speak, and we'll do in this phase we did all on-campus measurements. So we have measured this campus, in every possible spot that you can imagine, especially for outdoor to indoors communication. But now we'll get outside the campus and start measuring also in the streets, in apartments, etc. And then another example is from the local industry. So SAS, Spirit Aerospace Systems, is a local company that is specializing on drone design and manufacturing. They're here in Glikanera, very close to our campus, and we have partnered with them not first of all in the context of the project, of the PAINLESS project, and the demo you will see later has been done together with them on one of their own products, but also we are doing joint collaboration for proposals for research grants, future research grants, etc. Okay, as I said, the technology transfer is an important part of what we do, and we have already established an internal regulation that determines exactly how intellectual property can be handled, filed, exploited, and all those things. Regarding the local ecosystem that I was saying before, we recently established also an institutional collaboration with Demokritos. Demokritos is Greece's largest public research organization. Fotis Lazarakis here is one of the directors at Demokritos, and they're neighbors. Their campus is right next to ours, and we have established an MOU for setting up an innovation lab that will be an ACG Innovation Lab on their premises, and of course to take advantage of all the synergies that are there. So we're very excited about this project. We expect the opening to be in the fall timeframe, September or maybe October. So finally, just since I've been here for no more than 2 years and a few months, And when the project started, I was in a different organization, and now you find me here. These are the main steps that we have taken so far for all the things that I mentioned in order to foster our research and technology innovation development activity. So we got we have the ability to host the EU grants. So Alba was used in this when we got state recognition to host foreign researchers such as Mohammed and Nitin. We established a new entity, the ACG Research Center, which is also going to be used as, again, a non-profit and will be used for the bulk of our research grant application. We already have more than 20 that we have applied for. We appointed the research area leaders that I mentioned. We appointed this advisory board. We established the MOU with Demokritos, the first research lab in the network. We engaged with the local VC community, and there's certain things that are happening there. You'll hear more about it tomorrow. We drafted the tech transfer regulation. We inaugurated the STEM labs. We already host 3 EU and 3 industrial grants. And of course, we keep writing proposals and writing papers like all of us do all the time anyway. Okay, and some examples related to the future and also perhaps nuggets of entrepreneurship out of what we do here. One is perhaps this collaboration here with SAS out of PAINLESS might lead to some kind of product in the future. Also the one with Bell Labs, clearly this is to give high-speed gigabits per second to the home without the fiber via a wireless connection. And also we have some colleagues, research area leaders in the center who are also DERI faculty who have put together a startup on drug repurposing. It's a very exciting, looks like a very exciting startup with funding from the UK. So I'll end here. Again, thank you very much for being here. I want to welcome you all, and I hope you'll make the most out of the two-day program that we have. Thanks. And I want, if there are any questions, we can take them now. But probably this was an overview, so we can do this offline. To save some time, I'd like to invite the next speaker, which is Professor Christos Masouros from UCL, who is also the project coordinator for PAINLESS, and will give us an overview of the project.